Everybody saw the warrior, the trophies, the slams. Rafael Nadal lifting cups, smiling, holding history in his hands had become a familiar part of watching tennis. The numbers, the records, the red clay of Paris turning into his kingdom were things everybody could see. From the outside, it looked like dominance, built on strength and inevitability. But nobody saw the cost. Nobody saw the pain that started before the matches and stayed long after the applause faded. Nobody saw the treatments, the mornings when simply walking hurt. Nobody saw how many times everything was close to ending. Because legends are usually remembered for what they win, not for what they survive. Rafael Nadal's story is not the story of a perfect body. It is the story of a body that kept breaking and a mind that refused to surrender. Very early in his career, Nadal learned something most athletes never have to face so soon. His body would never fully cooperate. Chronic foot problems. Knee injuries that returned again and again. Wrists, back, abdominal muscles. Pain that didn't come once, but stayed. Doctors gave names to the problem. One of them was Müller-Weiss syndrome, a degenerative condition in the foot. The meaning was simple and brutal. This would not disappear. It could be managed and endured, but never eliminated. Every season came with uncertainty. Every comeback carried a question mark. Not if the pain would return, but when. There were moments when stopping felt inevitable. Long breaks away from competition, months of rehabilitation instead of matches. Watching rivals keep playing, winning, moving forward, while his own career stood still. The body was breaking, but the real battle was happening somewhere else. Because physical pain is visible, mental pain is not. There were doubts that never reached the press conferences. Fear that never appeared in interviews. Questions asked in silence, late at night, when the stadium lights were off. What if this is the end? What if I can't come back the same? What if my body no longer allows me to compete at the highest level? For an athlete whose identity was built around effort, intensity, and presence, the idea of being forced to stop was more frightening than any opponent across the net. The hardest opponent was never Federer, Djokovic, or anyone standing on the other side of the court. The hardest opponent lived inside his own mind, and he learned how to turn it into his greatest ally. Nadal never tried to become someone else. He never chased perfection. He never waited for a moment without pain, because that moment never came. Instead, he changed the way he approached the fight. Nadal's mentality was never about eliminating suffering. It was about accepting it. One point at a time, one training session at a time, one day at a time. When motivation disappeared, discipline remained. When confidence faded, routine stayed. When the future felt overwhelming, he focused on the present. He didn't ask his body to feel good. He asked it to respond just enough. There were tournaments entered without knowing if he could finish them. There were victories achieved not because the pain was gone, but because he learned how to carry it. This is what the public rarely sees. Greatness is often imagined as invincibility. But in reality, greatness is adaptation. Every comeback told the same story. Not a healed body returning to dominance, but a wounded athlete choosing to try again, winning major titles after months away, lifting trophies after seasons many thought were over, proving that resilience can be stronger than physical limits. He didn't come back because everything was perfect. He came back because he was willing to face imperfection. Rafael Nadal never competed under the illusion of control. He competed under acceptance. Acceptance that pain would be part of the journey. Acceptance that fear would visit often. Acceptance that nothing was guaranteed. And still he showed up, again and again and again. That is why his legacy goes beyond numbers, beyond trophies, beyond surfaces and statistics. Because his career is a reminder that success does not belong only to the strongest or the healthiest. It belongs to those who continue, even when continuing hurts. Everybody sees the trophies, nobody sees the pain. But greatness is built exactly there. In the quiet battles, in the unseen struggles, in the decision to keep going when stopping would be easier. Rafael Nadal did not win despite the pain, he won with it. And that may be his greatest victory of all.